this week's show, Tesla's Autopilot is finally live, James Bond's favourite automaker goes electric, and Doc Brown reminisces. These stories and more coming up next on T.E.N. Enjoying today's show on YouTube and want to read the stories we're referring to today? Just head to our website at transportevolved.com/TEN, where you'll find today's show notes, as well as links to the latest future car news, buying guides, tech primers, and car reviews. It's Friday, October 16th, 2015. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield, and if you've donated to our brand new Patreon campaign this week, you truly rock. It's thanks to you that we're still able to do these shows, and we're all very grateful for your support. After more than a year of waiting, Tesla Motors officially began pushing version 7.0 of its autonomous vehicle operating system to Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X cars this week, bringing autopilot functionality to the 60,000 or so Tesla cars have made since September last year. During a press conference call ahead of the software release, Tesla CEO Elon Musk described the Autopilot as being like a very good chauffeur. He also disclosed that Tesla's autonomous drive software, which allows equipped cars to auto-steer on the highway as well as auto-lane change and auto-park, has been made possible by not only the suite of sensors on auto-drive-equipped Teslas, but also the many millions of miles driven by each and every Tesla customer since they picked their car up. You see, as it turns out, Tesla has been recording the routes that every single Tesla Model S has been driving from the point it was purchased to today, using that always-on internet connection in every Tesla Model S to create super detailed maps of every single road a Tesla has ever been driven along. More accurate than a standard GPS system, it can be used when the Autopilot software can't figure out where the lane markings are to correctly and safely place the car on the road. We don't have the time to explain the system in detail here, but head over to transportevolved.com where we explain it and the machine learning algorithms Tesla is using to teach its cars to drive in full. Mitsubishi issued an official recall of certain 2012 model year i-Miev electric cars in the US this week to fix a problem with sensors in its SRS airbag system. As we reported at the start of the week, the recall, affecting around 1,746 i-Miev cars and a further 11,812 of its gasoline-powered Mirage cars, relates to an improper manufacturing process in an airbag impact sensor, which could lead to the airbag system malfunctioning. The recall, which takes place in the coming weeks, will involve inspection and replacement of the components at fault and will of course be free of charge for owners. In the meantime, concerned owners can contact North America Mitsubishi directly on 888-648-7820, quoting reference number SR-15-011. There's nothing quite like a crisis to give you a bit of perspective on life, and we're guessing that's part of the reason German automaker Volkswagen announced its intention to invest more heavily in hybrid, plug-in hybrid and electric car technology this week. The news announced in a week which saw VW executive face additional grilling for intentionally fitting certain diesel engine cars with software designed to cheat emissions regulations is an abrupt about turn for a company which was, until a month ago, firmly entrenched in promoting diesel fuel as a way to meet emissions and fuel economy targets. We'll leave the sordid details of the Dieselgate out of this particular piece of news, but Volkswagen, in an attempt to clear its name, says that it will double down on plug-in hybrid and electric offerings, as well as make its all-new Phaeton luxury sedan a completely electric model, complete with a 300-kilometre, 186-mile range. But it's not all plug-ins. Volkswagen said it will continue to work to improve the efficiency of its gasoline and diesel engines alongside its push towards electrification. Given other automakers are doing the same thing, however, there's a sceptical piece of me which thinks that this was a plan all along and Dieselgate was just a good time to announce it. What do you think? The United States of America is currently the world leader when it comes to autonomous vehicles, but it could soon lose that title unless it acts quickly to set a national standard for autonomous vehicles. That was the message from Volvo CEO Håkan Samuelsson last week, who told those present at an important conference in Washington, D.C., that the US's current attitude towards autonomous vehicles, namely to let individual states set their own regulations, could jeopardize its leadership in the field. In order for automakers to continue to develop autonomous cars, Samuelson said, the federal government needed to act now to ensure that the blanket set of guidelines were applied across the nation to facilitate autonomous car adoption. To help things along, Samuelson said that Volvo would even personally accept liability for any accidents caused by its autonomous vehicles while they were in autonomous operation, something that even Tesla CEO Elon Musk has yet to offer. While we're a long way from seeing autonomous vehicles everywhere on our roads, we'll be interested to see if Capitol Hill listens to this very direct plea from Sweden's safety-obsessed automaker. It was designed to be a way to allow small businesses to write off the cost of buying essentially heavy-duty pickups and SUVs against their taxes, but the Section 179 US federal tax deduction allowance for vehicles, known colloquially as the Hummer tax break by many, now applies to the greenest SUV you can buy on the market today. And that's because the recently launched Tesla Model X, a car which tips the scales with a gross vehicle weight in excess of £6,000, meets the requirements of Section 179 of the US Federal Tax Code. As such, anyone buying a Tesla Model X who also happens to own a business can, if they're actually going to use their high-end luxury SUV for work purposes, write a massive $25,000 off the purchase price against their tax bill. The only two catches: you both have to own a business and have a tax liability of 25 grand in order to make this loophole work for you. So not everyone with a Tesla Model X will be able to get that massive discount. While the Model X is the first electric car to qualify for this particular tax break, however, it's worth noting that the Fiat V-Trucks pickup truck, which operates as a range-extended electric vehicle, also does qualify for the same perks, although there's nobody we know who's actually purchased one for small business use, making it something of a moot point. Dieselgate will slowly kill the diesel engine around the world, and V12 engines aren't eco-friendly, hydrogen fuel cell technology just isn't there yet, and so electric power is the only choice for an automaker seeking to bring powerful luxury vehicles to market. That's the verdict of former Nissan executive and CEO of Aston Martin, Andy Palmer, who confirmed this week that the luxury British brand was indeed committed to bringing an all-electric version of its Rapide sports sedan to market by 2019. Referencing the lengths that some automakers are going to in order to keep hold of the gasoline engine, Palmer joked that Aston would never use a small three-cylinder engine in its cars, reiterating that the instant torque of an 800 to 1,000 horsepower electric drivetrain will give Aston customers exactly what they want. As for James Bond, Aston Martin's famous fictional customer, Palmer said there was no reason why Her Majesty's top-secret agent should be upset about the powertrain change. After all, he joked, for Bond it's all about the power, and the electric Rapide will have plenty of that. Look forward to seeing it in a film soon. It's been a little bit like pulling teeth, but we're finally starting to see details of merging of the all-new 2016 Toyota Prius hybrid, unveiled late last summer as a special event in Las Vegas, Nevada. While we know what the car now looks like, however, Toyota has kept details of the drivetrain a closely guarded secret. But this week, Toyota's Japanese media site let more details out than ever before, confirming that as well as offering a choice of either lithium-ion or nickel metal hydride battery packs, the new hybrid would come with an optional all-wheel drive capability, thanks to an additional electric motor located on the rear axle. While the standard Prius will be shorter, lower and wider than the outgoing model, the all-new all-wheel drive variant will sit slightly higher, presumably to give it more ground clearance. Also worthy of note included in this is the improved electric motor, which produces 53 kilowatts of power alongside the 1.8-litre gasoline engine's 96 horsepower. While we're yet to hear final specifications, we will keep you posted when we have them. In keeping with its relentless update cycle, Californian electric motorcycle manufacturer Zero Motorcycles has just released details of its new and improved 2016 model year lineup. Thanks to a heavy emphasis on research and development at its Scotts Valley headquarters, there are now 2 models to add to the lineup too. A dual sport racing model, DSR for short, and Supermoto FXS model, which are designed with sporty performance in mind. Capable of producing 50 kilowatts of power and 106 pound-feet of torque, the new DSR hits 60 miles per hour from standstill in 3.9 seconds, while the smaller FXS does the same in 4.1 seconds, thanks to its 44 kilowatt motor and 70 pound-feet of torque. Sadly, there's not time here to go into all of the improvements in the range, but worthy of note is a brand new charge tank option, which adds J1772 charging to the zero range and slashes charging times to just 2.5 hours for a full battery. That's sadly not compatible with the power tank extended battery pack options from previous years, since both occupy the same space. But given most riders like me like to get off and stretch their legs every hour or so, I can see the charge tank being the far more popular option than the power tank with most riders. And finally, if you're a fan of the cult classic Back to the Future trilogy, you'll know that next Wednesday is October 21st, 2015, the very day that Marty McFly visits with Doc Brown in Back to the Future 2. It's no surprise then that everyone from Nike to Pepsi is getting in on the action, unveiling BTTF-themed products just in time for the big celebrations next week. So too, it seems, is Toyota, which has just hired Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, aka Marty McFly and Doc Brown, to reminisce about their time in the movies and help promote the US launch of the Toyota Mirai hydrogen fuel cell sedan, which, as it happens, will take place on Wednesday next week. It's something of an advertising coup for the company, and the videos produced in honour of the event are clever if a little quirky, but they're well worth watching if you're a fan of the movie. Sadly, however, the Mirai won't be capable of flying, nor will it be powering itself using garbage, so we are a little bummed out about that. Sadly, my car doesn't fly either, but I might just sit down this weekend to watch Back to the Future back to back. As you might have guessed, that's your lot for today, but you can find all the news that's fit to print at our website at transportevolved.com, catch up with us on Twitter at transportevolved, or check out our latest shows on our usual YouTube channel. And if you liked what you saw today, consider keeping us independent and impartial by visiting our Patreon page at patreon.com/transportevolved and pledging your support from as little as $1 a month. We'd really appreciate it. As always, there's a lot we haven't managed to fit into today's show, including Volvo's new plans for an electrified future, Tesla says no to trespassers at its Reno Gigafactory site, we explain what the Patreon campaign is all about, and up to 30 executives could be involved in the Dieselgate scandal. So when we're done, be sure to head to our site to read them all. Thanks for watching. I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Have a great weekend, and until next time, keep evolving.